Well, Sergio is into all sorts of tropical fruit. Of course, mangoes are very high on the list. And out here, he lives in Loxahatchee, and it's like 34 miles from truly tropical, north and west from us. So it's different growing conditions. And I was wondering, like, what's been happening with your mango trees this year? How did they flower? How much fruit is on what variety? And just basically any of your thoughts from the season so far.
So this season has definitely been very drastic and different. Like this Perez mango tree that we're standing under, it got attacked by powdery mildew and wiped out the entire crop. That was the case on 90% of the trees, just on the timing of blooming. First bloom was pretty good, got wiped out because it had set fruit, and it not only in this tree.
A lot of fruit at first bloom, but then it wasn't good for the bloom because of the weather. Right?
Correct.
Because it didn't want any confusion, because somebody might have thought, well, a good first bloom, which sometimes means lots of mangoes, but in your case,
that's what I thought.
Lots of potential mangoes, and that door shut because of powdery mildew.
Yes, just completely wiped them out. Best thing to say. That, and I know we were a little bit drier, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Do you think that you had a significant cold snap? Because we didn't really get a good cold event to trigger the flowering in some of the varieties.
Out here, I was able to. It wasn't consecutive cold snaps. It was the little cold snaps.
Quick cold snaps.
Yeah, because I had my Loxahatchee peaches that are rated at like 250 chill hours bloom, and every mango tree that I was expecting fruit on that first initial good fruit set that I thought, they all bloomed. Almost every single tree bloomed, but they got wiped out. So as far as the bloom, it wasn't a big pronounced bloom all at once from the cold snap. It was more like a staggered from those nights that we had sporadic cold nights. I'm trying to think of what the best one was. Sweet tart. Sweet tart, every year is my best one, whether it's best producer, fruit set.
So did it flower about the same time as the others and just didn't get the powdery mildew, or do you know if the timing was a little bit different?
I think the timing was, for the main crop of it, it was a little after. I did have some in that initial that got wiped out as well.
So just a small part of the tree flowered early on, it lost that bloom, and then the second time it flowered, then that's where your fruit came from.
Correct. Yeah, I had maybe one or two hold from that first initial before it got completely wiped out. So there may be maybe one or two. I think Sweet Tart's the only one that did that though.
So can we take a little peek at the potential Sweet Tart crop here? You definitely have different growing conditions out here, so it's always interesting to know what varieties are doing well for you here, because there are a lot of people who have similar conditions to you, and I have completely different conditions where I am from you as far as weather and how much the timing of the bloom and what varieties do well for me. It's just good information to know that like for instance, the Sweet Tart does very well for you out here. So this is
one of my favorite trees.
Right here, nice cluster of Sweet Tart. So it's got fruit all over it.
Yeah, that's what I mean about it being a good producer. It tends to produce not the entire tree, but at least evenly dispersed throughout the tree. I think the main part of the crop, there's some here, and the back, the main is on the back, because on this side is where most of the crop was last year, right in here in this area. So it looks like this whole area where I had fruit last year is taking a rest, and the other part of the tree is either up top, a lot of it flushed out, and then some of it on the other side happened to set good fruit set.
So I'm seeing a little bit of fruit on the mango tree next door here. What's that? What variety is this one here?
Lemon meringue.
Oh, wow. I wasn't recognizing it just because it seemed like the fruit I was looking at were a little bit rounder than mine. Yeah. Well, that's great.
I thought they were, some of them are a little rounder.
Yeah, just a few fruit that I saw, like in this area where it seemed to be a little bit plumper, instead of longer. But yeah, looks like you got a pretty good crop on that too.
Especially compared to this one. This one didn't set any fruit.
Yeah, maybe they have a deal, like, I'll take all the praise this year, and then, next year the other one will set a bunch of fruit and have the spotlight on it. So I'm seeing pretty much mangoes on this area here. What variety is this?
So this was one of the seedlings that I planted that I did not get to finish cutting out for top working. I was wanting to see if I would let it hold fruit and have other people try it, because I was not impressed last year with the fruit quality.
Was that the first year that it fruited last year? Yeah, sometimes the first year can just not be a good representation too, so you might even like it this year. You've got the fruit hanging, so you're going to find out. So I have to check back with you later to see if it turned out to make the Sergio approved mango list.
The flavor's not bad. It had like a cantaloupe-ish, like melon-like sweet flavor. The only thing is it has like fibers in it, and some of the ones that I picked had a little too much fiber. So with all the other ones that we grow, it's like you could easily cut it out, because on this same tree I have Kesar, and the other top of this half is Sunrise. So I was thinking of top working it completely if I wasn't happy with this year.
Yeah, well, that's great.
One or two fruit on Cogs Hall. My avocados are doing a lot better this year, actually.
Oh, good.
Hatcher has maybe a handful as well. I see two fruit here and maybe one more up there. Even the disease-resistant ones lost a lot of the fruit. Actually, you just reminded me of something. The disease-resistant, the other one on top of Sweet Tart that did really well as far as fruit set is Duncan, if you want to come check that out.
Sure.
And my carry's reblooming.
Yeah, a little bit of second bloom there. A few potential scions on this too, looks like.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was thinking I'd get another full bloom. It was just a little sporadic bloom on the top, so I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
Duncan was the only other one that did really well this year.
Yeah, your Duncan, your Duncans are ahead of my Duncans development-wise. My fruit are very small still, so I find that interesting, because I would think that in the warmer climate, that it seems like my tree might have gotten grown the fruit bigger, but I guess your flowering might have been earlier than mine.
On this one, yeah.
And so your fruit, they're really big. It seems like you can practically get your knife and fork out next week. It's just this one is just huge.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one. That one was hidden. I've been eyeing this one for the longest when I come out. I didn't even see that one.
That's ridiculously huge. So yay, I'm glad you got some mangoes. It's sort of an iffy year for a lot of people, and we do have some trees that don't have any fruit, but then you get some really good performers too.
Yeah. which is funny because Super Julie and Duncan were one of the first ones to bloom, like out of all the trees, even before that big Perez tree, and that one's always the first one. This one, I believe, is the only one that held fruit from that first initial cold snap and actually survived the powdery mildew.
Oh, great.
Hopefully it'll do better next year. I was thinking about top working it, so maybe I might have to reconsider.
Yeah, maybe one branch or something like that.
Most of it.
You've got like a lot of fruit from here. As long as you've got a lot of Duncan eaters, then yeah, it's a nice tree to have. Usually they're reliably productive, and yeah, I'm impressed at how big the fruit are already. Well, great. Thanks for showing us all that.
Of course. Thanks for stopping by.